I'm so pleased that I've been invited to attend this auspicious panel. You know, everybody who knows me, sustainability has been at my heart since 1988 within the seafood industry. And, you know, the wise words of Professor David Foskett in terms of what and where the industry is at the moment are not lost on me. I'm an ex-chef originally. But if I can be succinct and as brief as I can, you know, I'm going to recognize a few things here. First of all, the leadership that IIHM display is outstanding, The sustainability competition that you had at last year's Olympiad was outstanding. And I would encourage that competition in perpetuity, because let's remind ourselves that every year there are new chefs and managers being trained for this industry. So please, let's not let that drop. But, you know, I'm going to be maybe a little bit controversial here, but it has to be said that retailers have done all of the heavy lifting here in terms of sustainability. And, you know, restaurant groups, hotel groups, you know, if I look at the global landscape, you know, they would really benefit tremendously from engaging in sustainability of fish and seafood, in social welfare, in their supply chains, in the environmental issues in their supply chains, and in food safety. And retail is, you know, like if it was a 100-mile dash, retail are within a mile of the end here in the UK and in the States and in, you know, places like Japan. But I do feel that food service is at the 50-mile marker. In March, I'm pulling together a sustainable webinar because I really do, I do think that the industry needs to see that difference in scale of where food service is and where retail is, because there's a big gap and there needn't be. And I think that gap is kind of lack of information flowing into food service. I don't think that, you know, people like me have done a good enough job in terms of, you know, showing the milestones that can be met very easily, and, you know, raising the profile of sustainability within the hotel group boardroom. You know, we have the Dow Jones Sustainability Index, we have the Seafood Sustainability Index. Hotel groups are nowhere to be seen on some of these indexes. Restaurant groups are nowhere to be seen on these indexes. And for so many years, these groups have had a policy, they've written the policy and they've put the policy in the drawer. And it happened in retail. So retail did exactly the same thing. They wrote their policies, they put it in the drawer, they didn't police it, they didn't walk the talk. And then in 2012, they discovered, to their cost, their reputational damage, that they were exposed on so many fronts: social, children peeling prawns in Thailand, effluent issues in their, you know, Pangasius supply chain, things like that. And they changed overnight and very quickly. So, you know, I would like to propose that IIHM, you know, help facilitate a international webinar on sustainability with help from Professor David Foskett and the team here on this panel. And let's get this show on the road. I do accept what David says, that, you know, the chefs are finding it very, very difficult to concentrate at the moment, and so would I. you know, quite frankly, it's desperate. But, you know, this is an opportunity to take an hour of the time available now to, you know, let's put this webinar together. I really think it's one of a lack of knowledge and a lack of just let's get this show on the road in terms of sustainability. Thank you. Yeah, I think I would just throw this out there that, you know, David's right. There's a lot of education going on in universities and campuses and colleges, but, you know, are we going to be tarred with the same brush that, you know, the wider environment gets tarred with, which is, you know, are we showing leadership? Are we leaving it to the youngsters to come through and, you know, do the job? Because that would be, you know, asleep at the wheel. We have to show leadership, you know, and I think that may be the bit that's missing at the moment, the leadership from the top, from the bridge. Because if the message doesn't come from the bridge, then it's very hard to push the message up. And I would, again, just say that we need some leaders out there to embrace this and show that, you know, we are doing something. And let's not leave it to the youngsters coming through to show us, you know, to show us what should have been done. Yeah, I think India could show us the way. You know, with this organization, you know, Dr. Suborno, Bose, Ahmed, and, you know, Rupinder, they know all of the leaders of the hotel and restaurant groups in India and Southeast Asia. I think this could be the nucleus to get this thing rolling. You know, we have Aditya from the hotel group. Why don't we do the first webinar with the leaders of the hotel and restaurant groups in Southeast Asia that we have contacts with? I'm happy to present sustainability and how it works in retail, how it works in the rest of the world. You know, what a fantastic opportunity, because, you know, IIHM shows leadership. You know, it just is. And I would love to work with Aditya and the rest of the hotel and restaurant leaders in Southeast Asia. This, guys, is pre-competitive work, okay? There's no advantage first to market. This is pre-competitive. This is how we've done it here in Europe. This is how we've done it in the States. We meet, all of the leaders meet. It's got nothing to do with being competitive, because everybody should be on the same page. And I think India, and Dr. Suborno, Bose and I have discussed this, India could lead the rest of the world in hospitality, in showing that leadership. And that's what this thing needs.